And so our first question is, what excites you about the Ithaca Green New Deal? And did you find anything surprising about what we just learned in the presentation?
Something that excited me about the Green New Deal, even though I just kind of learned about it, is that I guess I've never really heard of climate policy that wants to address the social aspect of it too. Um, Usually, when I think of climate policy that the US has passed, I think of like the Tennessee Valley Authority and like conservation and setting aside land and things like that. But if it's implemented correctly and actively, I think has really good potential to fix some of the issues that communities have been dealing with for hundreds of years. So
I think that's a great point. Another thing that inspired me from the presentation was just that Ithaca is able to be such a leader in this, and that hopefully we can inspire other cities and eventually states in the country to follow.
Yeah, one thing I found surprising was, I guess, how ambitious the goals we've laid out are, and how they've done this goal setting without laying out a way to do it in a more concrete manner in terms of funding or actual accomplishable policies. So I'm surprised that they haven't gotten to that yet.
that actually kind of leads right into our next question, which was, what do you think is missing from the Ithaca Green New Deal and what would you like to see? So if anyone has thoughts on that, feel free to share.
I guess then, yeah, definitely the things missing are those concrete steps that hopefully we can put before whoever is running this, probably the Common Council, and see that these goals aren't completely empty.
I think another thing beside like the specific importance of like funding and money to get these policies done, or to get these goals accomplished, and looking at like maybe like looking to advocate and like organize both for action at the local level to get policies passed, but also at the state and national level to ensure that communities, not just Ithaca, who might be able to get private funding, can implement similar goals and accomplish them.
Yeah, one thing I thought was really important was actually defining climate justice communities, because with funding, like I feel like the money will not go anywhere unless you know who it's going to. So I think that is one of the most important things, in my opinion.
Yeah, Fenya.
I think maybe there's a need, especially to get input from the homeless population, and maybe especially invest in them as well. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit concerned because they seem to be building a solar farm in an area where there's a large homeless population. So
Yeah, that's a really important concern. I definitely agree with that.
I had a question. What does the Ithaca Green New Deal like? Is there like something specifically that they say about kind of the goals with indigenous communities of Ithaca? I maybe like missed that part.
I don't personally know because I didn't work on the Ithaca Green New Deal project much last semester, and I'm just not knowledgeable about it in general. But does anyone else here have any idea?
I also am pretty new to like the specifics of the Green New Deal, and I guess maybe there could be like a clause somewhere. But so far, like with public knowledge, I think that it's very, very general, and I'm not sure if they've fleshed out like any Indigenous input. And honestly, I would be surprised considering their communication concerning like Halftown. Um, but yeah, I think that's really important going forward.
Like a similar thing I would say is that I know at the national level that one facet of the Green New Deal, because this is like a not just Ithaca but a larger project, is it does mention working with Indigenous communities and I'm not sure, but perhaps furthering sovereignty rights. And I think like a similar line is my understanding is a similar lines in the Ithaca version, but I think unless that's followed by action and like actual communication, I haven't heard that much about it, though it may be happening.
Yeah, I'm guessing that since everyone here at least knows a little bit about it and no one's heard too specifically, that probably Indigenous involvement is not as strong as it should be. And that actually connects a little bit to our next question, which is,
Based
what do you
to-
think we should prioritize as, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, based on a super cursory Google search, there's not anything that I can find that links the two in the news.
Okay.
Or on like Ithaca government website statements or something like that. All I found was a Cornell Sun article from like several years ago. Yep, that one.
Well, that definitely seems like something that should be prioritized in the future. And that's our next question is, what do you think we should prioritize in the future? And are there any particular action items that caught your eye?
I mean, I know it's a tall task, but to me, I think what stands out as the biggest sort of roadblock right now is funding. And so I just think that I just think that's where the ball needs to get rolling more than anything else if these goals are going to be met on time. Because I don't think it'll even be possible to like do the other things we've been talking about, the things that need to be added or clarified, if some more funding can't come in.
Yeah, Fenya, what do you think about that?
Making geothermal and solar energy systems and those sort of things more affordable for low income people.
We are getting a little bit low on time. Are there any other responses about things we should prioritize, or and also like CJC's role specifically and things CJC can do?
I think most realistically, our role in the Ithaca Green New Deal is education and outreach. Because like when we met with Luis, stuff like that, it didn't seem like there were a lot of like direct action items that we could have been a part of.
I think also looking at like when there are action, like looking to see if there are any actions we can initiate, and like raising energy and like putting pressure on the Common Council to pass resolutions that are in place. For example, by like going to Common Council meetings and showing our support, and also fighting for funding at the state level. I think that's a really important mechanism both for us and for other communities to get policies like that, to get goals like this achieved.
Yeah, go for it, Benya.
So I know there were some issues with people being concerned about the visual impact of solar panels. I was thinking, I'm not sure if this would really be for this group, but it would be good if we could get artists involved to sort of just make it more visually appealing, I guess, or increase public support.
Yeah, that's a really nice idea. Are there any final thoughts about that? Because otherwise the meeting's almost over, so we have to move into announcements. But if there are any thoughts about the Ithaca Green New Deal that weren't answered or that weren't asked in those previous questions, it would be great to share them now.
Have we received any indication that the council person that we emailed received our emails?
I personally have not.
Okay. It's in the void, that's fine.
Did anyone else get a response or anything?
Bet, okay.
Okay, well, I guess I will stop recording.